Hello and welcome to A Cup of Coffee with me, Sandy. Well, today's guest, I've had coffee with her out. We've chatted, but not on a cup of coffee before. Everybody knows my guest today, worldwide, not just in Spain, not just in Holland, in America, in England. And when I was living in England, I went to so many of her concerts at Ronnie Scott's. I think maybe you know who I'm talking about. I would like to introduce my guest and friend, Madeline Bell. Hello, Madeline, and welcome to Cup of Coffee. First time we've been on screen together. How are you? Madeline Bell, welcome
Yeah.
to Cup of Coffee. At long last, I mean, we have made it. Have you got a cup of coffee in front of
Oh,
you?
no, I was gonna do that once I got set up, but I don't want to leave
No, don't
I,
go away.
no. So I've got no coffee, but it's okay.
I just don't want to lose you. I've told everybody that the wonderful Madeline Bell was going to be on Cup of Coffee today without the cup of coffee, but we have had proper coffee together when we have been out. So
Yeah.
we will just think of that. The only
Okay.
thing is with Zoom, if you speak and I'm speaking, one of us won't be heard. You know that. You are in Spain. I am in Spain. We've both been here a long time. I think you have been here for over 40 years. What
Yeah.
what brought you to Spain?
We came on holiday, on a package holiday, and that was in 1980, April 1980. We, meaning myself and my future husband at the time, Barry, and we'd been on tour with James Last, and we'd finished the tour and decided to have a holiday together because we were both still married to other people. So we wanted to have a quiet, secret holiday in Spain. Came down, that was in April, came back again in July because I'd been ill and had just come out of hospital. So we came back to recuperate. And while we were here for that 10 days or whatever, we decided, oh, let's just go and have a look at some houses, and which we did. And the house that I'm in right now is the house that we bought in 19, in first time we walked in was October 1980. So how long I've been here?
45 years.
Nearly 45 years, yeah.
Unbelievable. You fell in love with Barry, but you also fell in love with Spain.
With Spain, yeah. But Barry, I had known for years. We'd known each other since the '60s. He used to be in a band called the Ferris Wheel, and I saw him at a club called the Bag of Nails
Where was
in
that?
In Kingley Street in London.
Okay. He was a
And he was a drummer, and this club was the club that everybody went to. All of the up and coming acts, all of the big names, and the Beatles and the Stones, and Barry was on drums when this young American guitarist came and asked if he could have a jam. Nobody knew him, and it turned out to be Jimi Hendrix. Yeah,
Wow. And
yeah.
when Jimi Hendrix became well known, did he remember Barry?
I don't even know if they ever saw each other again. It was that one time, and Barry's sort of he loved the thought that he actually played for Jimi Hendrix before anybody knew him. And Jimmy, what amazed him was that Jimmy had borrowed the guitarist's guitar and just turned it upside down and played it left-handed,
No way.
and totally freaked everybody out. All of these young musicians, yeah. So.
Uh, I am sure that in your time of performing, you have also been with artists who were nobody at the time and then became major stars?
Well, I mean, from doing backing vocals in the early days, one of the main people was Joe Cocker. I did with a little help from my friends. Elton John, who was Reggie Dwight to us, and we used to see him all the time, you know, running around the studios in little demo studios in Denmark Street. Yeah, there loads of yeah, quite a few names that nobody knew who became big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to England the early 60s. I think it was about 62 or 63 and
Too.
62. And then you were with Nativity.
Black Nativity.
Nativity. How did you
Yeah.
meet them? How did you get involved with them, having just arrived in the UK?
Well, Black Nativity came to Europe for 6 weeks. We had been performing off Broadway for a month, and we were invited to go to Italy. And none of us had ever been on a plane before. Well, we'd been on a plane, but we'd never been out of America. Anyway, we came to Europe, spent a month in Italy, Spoleto, for the Spoleto Festival, and then 2 weeks in London to record the show for Associated Rediffusion and then go home. That was the idea. And a producer came along, or an impresario came along and spoke to the producers and said he wanted to put the show on at the Criterion Theater in Piccadilly uh, for a week. And we did a week. And during that week, so much work came in. People wanted to book the show all over Europe. And what was supposed to be a 6 week trip turned into 14 months.
Wow.
We went back to the States a couple of times, even to help open Lincoln Center in New York. Yeah. And then come back to Europe. But we toured for 14 months. And then when everyone went back to America to stay, had been offered a recording contract by Norman Newell, who also recorded Shirley Bassey and Danny Williams, and so he was sort of in charge of the black artists in those days, and he offered me a recording contract, and went back to America in August with the rest of the cast, and then came back 3 weeks later, and I've been been in Europe ever since.
You
That
don't
was
you don't miss America at all. That I know.
no, not at all.
Not at all. I saw you many, many times at Ronnie Scott's. Whenever you performed at Ronnie Scott's, I was there, rooting and shouting and bumping and jumping. That was me. When I was young and when I would walk straight, that was me.
Yeah, when we was young.
When we were young together, we are about the same age. And you know what? Up there, we are still young.
I certainly am.
But you've done a lot in your life. You've been in films, you've done jingles,
Oh yeah.
which we discussed when we had a proper coffee. Um, the jingles that you did was it Brook Bond Tea?
Brook Bond dividendi, and I can do without money. Yeah, I could do with a D, but I did McDonald's. Oh goodness gracious, British Gas, Wonder Fuel Gas. Oh dear, I've done so many commercials in the UK. For the milk marketing board, for the meat marketing board. Yeah,
Did
that was bread and butter that paid my bills for
that
years.
that paid extremely well? I mean, voiceovers
Voiceovers, yeah.
then paid a lot of money, and I think they still do. Did people recognize your voice?
Yeah, well, my friends did, and fans did. And when you say it was well paid in those days, we thought it was well paid, but now we know that we should have been getting a lot more. Fortunately, in those days, we were getting paid every time it was shown, a commercial was shown on TV that you had performed on, you would get paid. But it was still peanuts compared to what people get now. I'm just ridiculous what people get now.
Well, I know that I managed Shaw Taylor, and he did a lot of voiceovers. And it was either to have a complete buyout or
Yep.
be paid for each performance or recording. And
Yeah.
we always opted, he liked doing a buyout because he felt he never ever knew if it was going to be on more than one or two occasions.
And the singers, when we did the voiceovers, we were only ever offered at that time repeats. Every time it was shown, we would be paid because they didn't know how long they were going to keep it on, so they didn't want to risk their money by paying us a one lump sum. They would rather see how long the jingle would last if it was successful in any way. Anyway, that's a sore subject now because nowadays they buy out and then they use it for years and years and years, but you don't get paid any more money. Yeah.
My light for my screen has just gone off and I have no idea why. So I'm just pressing it in the hope. No, it hasn't gone on. So there it's gone on again. I have no idea. There must be a little angel sitting at the side of me that's helped me. You also had your own television program, a BBC program. Did you?
Yeah. Oh, that was just a one off. I mean, I did loads of TVs, but I did one um and like an audience with Madeline,
Bill?
um the orchestra and backing singers and all of that. But the only time I would get anything like that would be if somebody else couldn't do it. And that TV, one particular BBC show, it was supposed to be Elkie Brooks, and Elkie went sick, so they called me. I was never offered anything like flat out, like uh we want to give you a TV series or anything. Never ever. It was always if somebody else. I mean, that's how my most of my work came in, was if someone else fell out. Yeah.
Well, by the looks of it, a lot of people fell out because you've had work going on all your life. I don't think that you've ever been without work.
Well, no, always one of the things that I learned was always be prepared. Like you come back home from doing a week's cabaret, make sure that all of your stuff is ready within a couple of days in case you get a call, which often would happen, and you'd have to rush off somewhere else. So always be prepared to rush off,
Yeah.
which even now, I mean, if someone was to call me now and say, "Can you do something tomorrow?" I could get myself together. At my age, I could get myself together to jump on a plane.
But you're a professional, that's why. You
Yeah,
do it at the 11th hour. You're always there. It's you're always ready. Uh,
yeah.
and you've got your passport, and the minute you've got your passport, you can go. You know what only surprises me here, and we have discussed this slightly, is that when Starlight has their big shows here in the summer, they've got Madeline Bell sitting here, and yet they don't invite Madeline Bell to perform.
No,
And
I've
that breaks my heart.
I've worked for the Spanish. I mean, I've done things, performed. I've done worked all around Spain, and I've done the coast here, Costa del Sol. I've done Malaga. I've done the Cervantes a couple of times. They had a jazz week, and I opened it on the Monday, and Ray Charles closed it on the Saturday. I did the Sala Cristina in Malaga as well, and I've done Malaga University and all the clubs and jazz festivals all up and down the coast and everything. But it's always been for the Spaniards. I have never been booked by the foreigners who have taken over. I've been ripped off a couple of times as well. Yeah.
That's not unusual.
Uh,
Show me the artist that has not been ripped off.
Yeah, but the thing is, I've been ripped off by the foreigners who come down here and put on shows. The Spaniards, I've always had a respectful association with the town halls down here, and uh, I mean, in a few cases, we would be paid before we went on stage, just to make sure. that there was no problems where, yeah. Uh, but down here, I don't get asked to do anything big.
But luckily, you've got so much going on. I know that you spent a lot of time in Holland because there are so many Dutch people where I live. And when I mention your name, they all know you, they all love you. And they
Yeah,
say she was virtually living in Holland.
yeah, yeah. Holland kept my bills paid for 50 years. I tried to live in Holland, but I couldn't find any accommodation. So that's why I came back and lived in the UK, and I lived in the UK for 37 years. But Holland was the place. I still work there more than I do anywhere else. Mind you, I mean, I've reached the age now where I'm not the flavor of the month anymore because I'm that age. But the last thing I did in Holland was about 18 months ago, I did a tribute to Sarah Vaughan
Wow.
because that I work with know that I come from her hometown.
I
And
did.
she was, her and my mom grew up basically, she was 3 or 4 years older than my mom, but they used to hang out together and my mom used to do her hair and all of that. So, and I use my association is that my first job in the supermarket was that I used to have to deliver groceries. And I used to deliver groceries to Mr. and Mrs. Vaughn, who lived on Avon Avenue up the road from the supermarket. And one day Mrs. Vaughn said to me, honey, just wait in the living room while I go upstairs and get some change. And there I am in my white apron and the trolley is left outside. And I went into the living room and there's this huge portrait of Sarah, and the penny dropped. I realized who Mr. and Mrs. Vaughn were. Yeah. So anyway, but the jazz orchestra of the Concertgebouw in Holland asked me to come over, but I've done so much work with this orchestra. We promoted the film Ray, starring Jamie Foxx,
Yes.
when it was about to open in Holland, and we were asked by the production company to promote the film all over Holland, which we did, and we did about 12 concerts in cinemas. And ever since then, we've done 40 or 50 concerts of the Ray Charles program since then.
Who haven't you done? What haven't you done? I mean, you've done films, you've done jingles, you've been singing with people that weren't stars, and you are just an all-rounder.
Yeah, well, that's, aside, along with being prepared, you have to also be prepared mentally as well. That if somebody wants you to do something, you're there. I mean, one of my best opportunities came when one morning in the early 1970s, it was about 1970, 71, when I got a call on a Tuesday, Tuesday morning. I know it was Tuesday because of the situation. And this guy said, I'm Stevie Wonder's manager, and he opened at the Talk of the Town last night, and he didn't have his backing singers. And I was given your number. Can you and another singer come and be backing singers for Stevie for 2 weeks? And I rang my friend P.P. Arnold, and off we went and met up with Stevie at the Royal Garden Hotel. And that night we were on stage with him. So I had 2 weeks with Stevie Wonder, and I was being paid as well. And I always like to say that people, they offered this, they said, we can only pay you $200. And Pat and I said, we would have paid you. Because we'd already booked to go to see him there. So it was wonderful. That was another one of my major opportunities. He just dropped the little from little Stevie Wonder. He was now big because he's, like 2 meters tall, Stevie Wonder.
Yes, yes.
That's another one that I got a chance to, and I actually got the chance. So I can actually say that I worked with Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles in London. Yeah.
What year do you remember that Stevie Wonder was at the Royal Garden Hotel? Because I was the PR there, and I
Uh,
was bringing in the showbiz people. So, but I can't recall Stevie Wonder. So it must have been before my time. Maybe it was when I was living in Los Angeles.
This was about 1970, 70, 71.
Yeah, I wasn't there. Uh,
Yeah,
but wow,
yeah.
what a life. But I want to go on to something else that most people don't know about you, and that is a painting that the royal artist has done of Madeline Bell, and it's virtually the size, the height, and the size of our Madeline Bell. And that is the late June Mendoza. Is that correct?
Yeah, lovely, lovely lady. Yeah, she passed away last year, age nearly 100. That was
The picture I have got that you have shown me, which, if it's okay for me to put on screen when I edit, I would love everybody to see you with your painting and June Mendoza there as well. This is a lady who was 99 years old, and she had painted the Queen 5 times, the Duke of Edinburgh, Diana, and you. And she said about you, you were just fun to paint. And she found you in a restaurant.
yeah, she was just such a lovely lady. I mean, I just can you see that?
I think it's quite amazing. It is
Yeah,
it is so big.
it is. It's nearly life size. I mean, it's about just under 5 feet. Yeah, and she saw me at a Lady Taverner's lunch, and I sat down opposite her, and she said, "You're gorgeous. Can I paint you?" And I went, "Yeah." And that's how we met. We met at a Lady Taverner's lunch.
But I wasn't Lady Taverners, I was Variety Club. And
Oh,
uh, we saw the same sort of people. Uh,
yeah,
but I never met her, but I've seen her work and just amazing. And what a pity she didn't reach 100.
I know, I know. She died in May, and she would have turned 100 in June.
It was just a matter of weeks. But if she's looking down upon everybody, she's certainly looking down on you, and she's got the biggest smile as you have got.
Oh,
See the
yeah.
painting. But have you gone smaller? Because I certainly have. So the painting, you are actually standing. The one I've got, you're standing right next to it, and you are the same size.
Yeah, well, no, I'm sort of not standing up straight though on
Oh,
it because
okay, okay.
5'5", I think. I used to be 5'5.5", but I'm 5'5". I've shrunk with age.
I was 5'5", and by last year I was 5'4". And when I tried on slacks, when we changed from winter to summer, even the slacks are now too long for me. So I've really, I am disappearing. By next year, I probably won't be around. You spoke about people and working in Spain. I've seen you at Huba, the
Yeah,
art
art gallery.
gallery, and it's always jam packed, and the people love you. I waited one time 2 months to get a booking to see
Yeah,
you there.
yeah.
So I hope it's going to be very soon, if you're not on travels, that you are back there with a group.
Well, I probably will be. I played there quite a few times. I mean, it's a small venue, but in Estepona, we are so limited when it comes to live music. In fact, all along the coast, it's really limited. Um, First of all, people come down here on holiday and they expect free entertainment. You know, they think if it used to be if I walked into a piano bar, they thought I was coming in to sing, and I had to stop going out because people expected me to get up and perform for free. Doesn't work like that. Um, you know, they would pay 100 quid for a ticket to go and see certain artists, but they didn't want to pay me nothing. the club owners, they buy you a drink and think that's your fee. Anyway, so I don't know if I'm going to do Uber in the near future. But Gabriella, who is the owner of the art gallery, she's very nice, and she gives me a call, and if I'm available, I might do it. But it used to be that I would perform with my pianist David Lenker, but David passed away 2 years ago, and I don't like performing with just the last time I was there, the last couple of times I was at Uber was with a bass, Francis Pote, and another keyboard player, Danielle Amat. But what I'm missing is a drummer, you
Well, we're
know.
going to put out a plea. Any drummer who is around and wants to work with you, you are
Yeah,
available and you're looking for him. And
well,
Gabby runs a wonderful place, and people
yeah,
stand in line to get in, and
yeah,
it's always jam packed. So
yeah,
we need to see you there again. We're going
yeah.
to find you a drummer.
Well, we have. I have in the early days of doing it with David Lincoln, we did do it with a drummer. We were a trio, but since he passed away, it's now just the drummer that we use. He's gone on to greater things. Andres, who was really lovely guy. I don't know if I want to do Uber anymore because I've done it so many times and we're so limited with just having piano and bass and I don't like performing the same show all the time, the same songs. We don't have time to rehearse and
Yeah, but you know what? You're making a lot of people smile and a lot of people walking out of there with a song in their heart. And was David the gentleman who wrote Summer Sun?
yeah.
What a beautiful song that is. And I wanted to play that on the cup of coffee. And I'm having a great problem about downloading it. Of course, YouTube, I don't know whether they will allow it because of copyright.
Oh yeah.
This is,
The Ways Group and
yeah,
that album, the whole album is David Lenker.
it is the whole album.
Playing keyboard, he's playing piano and keyboard on all the tracks, and he did all the arrangements, wrote all the songs and all the lyrics and everything. All of that is him.
And he
And
lived in Estepona.
he lived in Estepona for years. I mean, he's American, from Pennsylvania, and his wife and daughters are Spanish, and the daughters speak English with no accent. It's and I've known them since they were babies, and they're like 22 and 26, 27, and those are my girls. Yeah.
We are nearly at the end of our time with Zoom. And thank you. Thank you, dear Lord, for letting her fix her Zoom because she was trying for nearly an hour and she was very upset.
Oh,
Finally, I couldn't believe that you love boxing and Muhammad Ali.
oh, yeah. You must have seen my posts. I actually
Yes,
saw.
I saw that, and I thought to myself, it was me going to watch him at the Hilton Hotel. Anglo American Sporting Club had um, a boxing evening, and he was there. He was in boxing, and it's there that I slipped and crushed my spine as I was leaving because somebody had been sick on the marble floor. But when I
Oh,
saw that, and Muhammad Ali has played such a big part in my life, he's really.
I actually saw his that comeback match with him and Joe Frazier. I went over to New York to Madison Square Garden, and he lost to Joe Frazier.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and I actually saw that. But it's not that I love boxing; it's that I love Muhammad Ali. Because I just thought he was such a brilliant, funny man. He was really brilliant. And there's a did you see the video of Billy Crystal?
Which one?
There's a video of Billy Crystal doing Muhammad Ali.
No, I haven't. Is it
Uh,
YouTube?
it's on YouTube,
I
yeah.
shall look at it.
And there's also one of him doing the eulogy for Muhammad Ali at the funeral, and he is so funny because he does because him and Ali were close friends for like 40 years. But Ali was just so funny, and This Is Your Life with Eamon Andrews, and when he brought on Joe Frazier, you could see it in Ali's face. He said, "No, not Joe Frazier. No, not Joe Frazier." They actually really were great friends, but they put on the show that they didn't like each other.
We have had a wonderful cup of coffee, even though we didn't have coffee. We're just about out of time. But I want to say, Madeline, thank you for fixing your Zoom.
Oh,
Thank you for joining me. Our next cup of coffee is going to be for real.
okay.
If people are seeing me virtually falling off my perch, it's because my light of my camera has just died on me, and I'm only using a spotlight, which I think only covers the one side of my face.
I can see you clearly.
Yeah? Okay, I
Oh,
haven't got a dark side.
no, 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 no.
Okay. But I'm virtually falling off my perch. And as you can see, I'm sitting with a lot of people who I've worked with, and now they have all left us. And I'm sure that you have got a lot of people of pictures
Right
in your home
there,
that,
right be.
yeah. So we are very much the same. I say
Yeah,
thank you. I
thank
love
you.
you as a singer. I love you as a human being. And I wait until we have coffee and breakfast. What about
Yeah.
together? A proper breakfast.
Okay. Well, right across the road from you.
Yes, we will have
Yeah.
a breakfast next week.
Okay. Yeah. Fine.
You're on.
My darling.
And take care. And I will see you next week. I will phone you and we will arrange which day it is going to be next week.
Okay.
Bye bye. And to my guest, I say thank you. Thank you, Madeline Bell, for being with us. And for my viewers, I say we have found out lots about Madeline Bell that I don't know if you knew.
Still so much.
Yeah, I know. We will do another one. How about
Okay.
that? Okay.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Take
You
care.
take
God bless. Love you lots.
that Fred Astaire you.
Yes, yes, Fred Astaire. He gave me my wedding party in Los Angeles.
Oh wow.
What a gentleman. When God made the word gentleman, that was Fred.
Yeah.
Amazing, wonderful human being.
Oh wow.
We've
Fantastic.
got another program to do.
Yes. Okay, my darling.
God bless. Take care. And to everybody, bye-bye for now.
Bye. Bye. Summer sun, when the day's just begun, lazy walk on the beach, placid sea rolling gently under me, busy world out of reach, afternoon there with you, a little breeze, if you please, summer sun, when the day's almost done.